on this Jackson King V. I'm not the best at remembering if it's JS32, 22. I might be wrong, but I think they're about the same. Maybe a whammy bar is the difference in one. So, the first thing you're going to want to do, if you're going to try and see if you like these guitars, go try one now. Because if you don't like the way they feel, then there's no point in buying a guitar. So, the things you should consider are the shape, the size, the tone, playability, and your music style. So, start off with shape. This thing has a funky shape to it, but it's pretty sick. The shape is good whenever you're trying to do lead, because if you've ever tried to play an acoustic guitar and tried to do a solo on it, you'll realize how hard it is to play on an acoustic guitar, because your hand is such in a weird place when it's like right here. It's so far down, it doesn't have enough reach to get up to the high frets. In this guitar, if you've ever played a round guitar, you'll realize how much it takes to get to a high fret if the cutout is not good enough. But even though this one doesn't have a nice cutaway right here, you can just wrap your hand around the body and it doesn't do nothing, because you're not going to be like, if you're shredding up here or something, you're already going to have enough room to just go up to a certain amount. Like right around there is the part that you can hold this with your index finger comfortable. So the shape is a little weird whenever you're sitting down, because not everyone wants to just have to squeeze the guitar in between their legs to keep it from falling down. Whenever you don't, it likes to go this way and like straighten out, real weird. So it is kind of weird to sit down. You'll have to get used to that. You can hold it up with the right here around your hand, and you start to. If you've ever seen Dave Mustaine play, he plays these guitars, Jackson King V's, and I don't know if he plays any Rhodes. I know he plays King V's. If you watch him, he'll play like this. He always plays with his hand up, and he doesn't usually play with it like over here, like you would with a rounder neck. But that reason is so you can hold it up better. But whenever you get so high on the fretboard, you don't need to, really, because you're pushing the string up itself. But besides it wanting to fall down, there's not really a problem with the shape, besides how weird it is. It doesn't hurt to hold. It is kind of weird whenever you're holding it up, standing up, because you gotta like prop it like that to keep it from falling over. But if you like do this and hold it with your hand, then you're fine. You can just slightly hold it, and it'll be fine if you do that. And next tone, or next deciding factor, the shape. The shape of the neck is a lot different than any other guitar you'll play, because if you've ever played a Strat, you'll notice the similarities in between these and the differences. There's a lot of differences. So the scale length on a Strat is the same as a Jackson. It's 25 and a half, 25 and a half inches. Same on Strat, or on Fender think most Fenders are the same. I think it's I don't play Fenders, but I think a Mustang or Jaguar, maybe Jaguar, Jazzmaster maybe. But one of them is a little bit shorter. But if you play a Stratocaster, it's got the same length as this guitar here. The shape of the neck, the similarities is it is a thin neck. So it's like if you play lead and stuff, you will love these guitars because it's got so much precision. It feels like you're playing on a flat piece of wood, and it's good whenever you're playing lead. It's kind of weird whenever you're playing rhythm. Just you gotta keep your whole hand kind of flat with the guitar. But versus if I was playing my other guitar, my Explorer shaped guitar, I would play it like this. But you have to reach over more because of how wide this fretboard is, which is good for precision, but it takes a little bit getting used to if you're playing rhythm, which is what I usually play. I don't really play that much, but like lead. I do play a few lead songs, and it feels really good to play lead on this thing. Then, playability about this thing. That's about it about the playability. It does have some similarities in between Gibson necks and Strat necks. It's like you combine a Gibson and a Strat together, you get the type of neck. A Gibson has a flatter neck than a Strat. Take the Gibson flat neck and put it onto a Strat neck, and you have pretty much a Jackson neck. Because Strat necks, I think, are a little bit wider. Might be wrong, but if you had a Strat about where the third fret would be on the Strat, how you'll see it gets wider as you go up on the guitar. It's about the third fret on a Strat is where the nut is. That's how wide it is. So you just take your third fret, measure string to string, and then move it back to the nut. That's how big it would be on a Jackson. So it's kind of weird for rhythm, but it looks cool whenever you're standing up and you got it pointed kind of up like this. Versus most guitars, you have them high up, they look goofy looking. But you can just point this thing kind of up whenever it's high up, and it looks fine. It looks good. Versus you do that with a Stratocaster, and it'll look like a goofball. So the looks are really good on this guitar. If you like the V shape, you'll love this guitar. It's pointy, so it's good for like metal. If you play metal, you know pointy guitars are dark colors, pointy guitars, humbuckers, high humbuckers. That's about it. That's about all you'll need. So you play metal music. This guitar is for you. You play lead. This guitar is for you. You like the V shape. This guitar is for you. You like to play Fender guitars. This guitar is for you. I was at church the other day, and I've never seen the lead guitarist play a Jackson guitar before. I know I've seen him always play Stratocasters, but he played a Jackson, I think it was a Dinky. A Jackson Dinky is pretty much a metal version of a Strat. Or a Super Strat, something like that. But it looked about the same, just grab a Strat, give it to a metal player, make him do his thing on the guitar, give it back, and then you have a Jackson Dinky. That's about all you describe it. That's how you would describe it. And then the tone on this guitar. The tone on this guitar is not the greatest. The resonance is kind of weird because it's got a bolt-on neck just like a Strat. The resonance, let me put it on a channel that doesn't have a noise gate. channel without a noise gate. So that's on one string. The tone it's super fizzly. It sizzles so much, it drives you insane. So you're gonna need a noise gate if you're gonna play one of the guitars, or you're gonna need some higher price dollar, higher output pickups. The resonance is a little bit better than the Strat. About 5 seconds. And the Strat is about 4.5, a little bit less than 4.5. But it depends where you hit it. That one was about 6. It varies depending on how fast the frequency is, because if it's on a higher note, it's not going to last as long because the frequencies will die out faster. If it's on like the low E string, it's going to last a lot longer because it's got less vibrations to give it. It's like slowed down. It's in 2 octaves, it's 4 times as slow, which means it should last 4 times as long, if I'm right about that. The bolt-on neck does change the resonance because the more solid your guitar is, the more it's going to have a better resonance. That's why people love Les Pauls. If you are a lead player, you most likely will have a Les Paul at some point in time. Either a Les Paul, Firebird, Explorer. They have good resonance. But these guitars, these bolt-on V-shapes, are not going to have the best resonance. Anything bolt-on has a little bit too little resonance if you're playing stuff that's melodic and you're going to need a lot of resonance for your solos and leads. This is a noise gate, so don't panic on how fast it dies out, because that noise gate, mine's set pretty high to get that lead. That's why you need some higher output pickups, because if you're playing lead on this guitar, you're not going to want to hear that sizzle, but you're still going to want to hear the high notes last long. Because whenever you are playing lead, who likes to hear a sizzle in the background? No one. Not anybody wants to hear a sizzle whenever they're playing guitar. Even on clean channels it does it. It's like it has too much distortion even when it's clean. It sounds like the speaker's broken. So these pickups are pretty bad. Just buy some cheap pickups. Who knows? Whatever you like. You can buy MGs, Seymour Duncans, really anything. I ordered some Seymour Duncan Vader pickups to put in this guitar, and they're a cheap knockoff version actually. They look the same. The reviews on Amazon, 4.3 stars out of 5. And real Invader pickups, Seymour Duncan Invader, are 4.7. So it's gotta be pretty good. The only people complaining about them are, actually I don't even remember anybody complaining about them. The people that left bad star reviews, there was like a single 2-star review, and it didn't even have a review actually, it was just a rating. So these people are probably just haters, and they don't got reason to put on a low rating. And if you ever played a Les Paul, you know they have a big chunk on the back of their neck. This guitar does not have that chunk. It's smooth right there, which is something good about it. Be careful with the ends of this guitar. You'll most likely need to get a case for this guitar, because if you don't got a case for this thing, in a year from now you will 100% have a corner dent on this thing. as long as you play. If you don't pick up this guitar, you'll probably be fine. But what's the point of having a guitar you don't play it? The tone is really weird on this guitar. These pickups, actually, everything else about this guitar is fine. If you like the shape, everything about this guitar is good. The only thing I would upgrade is the pickups and maybe the tuners, because they are a little, they don't handle bends and stuff as well as you would. I know I just did a bad bend on this thing, but it's got about the same tuning stability as a Strat. As long as you play Strats, you'll be familiar with this body style. The only difference is it's got a, whatever you call it, hardtail bridge instead of a floating one. You can get them with the floating bridge. They usually come with Floyd Rose, which it's hard to find these guitars with a hardtail bridge because of how much these are made for lead. Well, people that play lead love having Floyd Rose guitars. But whenever you're chugging on a string, you don't like to hear vibrato. Like, this thing doesn't have any really vibrato. It doesn't have any vibrato that a Floyd Rose would have, because whenever you hit a Floyd Rose has balanced tension from the springs and then the strings. So whenever you pull the strings, it pulls the Floyd Rose up more, because you're like, let's say you grab a Floyd Rose guitar and you just take all the strings. Who would do this? I don't know if you were going to. You pull the strings, the Floyd Rose are going to come up more because you're putting more tension on the strings. So whenever you strum the strings, you're making the Floyd Rose vibrate in between the strings and the springs. So I just nerded out there. But it won't have that vibrato with these hardtail bridges, which is something good if you're trying to play rhythm. But if you like lead, you probably should get one, because who doesn't really like a Floyd Rose? As long as you can string them without problems, then you're fine. Floyd Rose, they suck trying to tune them. There's something good about these ones, that you tune the E string, you put the rest of the strings on, tune them, it's gonna keep the E string in tune, or it should. It will change over time a little bit, just depending on the neck being bent a little more. But you do that on a Floyd Rose, you tune the E string, and you tune the rest of them. The E string is going to be way off because it's pulling the Floyd Rose up more. Which, this guitar, I love it. I've had it for 2 days. 2 days. The only thing bad about it is the pickups. I can just point in the pickups and they don't sound the best. They start having a... So, just buy some better pickups, put them in this guitar. You'll have a nice guitar. You'll love to play it. The frets are they're fine. The tone isn't bad. It's just the pickups are bad. You play this thing acoustically, you're gonna notice it sounds really good. Which is, you gotta have a guitar that sounds good acoustically, so if you play something clean, it's not gonna sound bad. But clean is closest to the single. It sounds pretty good. Hear a little bit of a sizzle in there. It's a little out of tune. I'm bad for that. So, like I said, I don't know, probably 5 times now. You'll guess what I'm gonna say. The pickups. Let's get new pickups. There you go. You got a new guitar, a nice one. So subscribe because I need to do live videos. Yeah. Peace.